What is good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy King. We are back in today, guys. We're just going to be breaking down the story so far with this whole Andrew situation and man's imprisonment and how the case has progressed so far, where we're at, and apparently there's some breaking news. Man's in hospital, so we'll get to that at the very end. And yeah, so I'm gonna start from the beginning and just kind of work our way up through the story, and we're gonna be using Festify as our primary source here. This guy is doing an amazing job on actually getting the information and disseminating out there to all of you guys. He is doing a phenomenal job at doing this, guys. So definitely go give him a follow. Definitely subscribe to his channel, man, if you want to keep up with the information. And go follow him on Instagram with the same name, Festify. It is phenomenal work. The level of journalism this guy's doing and reposting and getting content and posting it together, man. He must be working 24/7, 365, man. He's on it. Man's not sleeping, bro. Man's hot. Alright, so let's just check out this first video, guys, on the first moments of the arrest, as the story broke, as it was broken by a few other sources, but let's hear it from Festify's perspective here.
Andrew Tate himself has been arrested. He said in numerous podcasts recently they're either going to try and kill him or make up something and put him in jail. And it seems news has confirmed that he's been arrested. And the Romanian pizza chain appearing in Andrew Tate's recent response video
Self-snitching
to Greta Thunberg was reportedly used as proof for Romanian authorities to confirm his presence in the country.
And we broke this down in the last video. This whole narrative was big cap, makes no sense. We understand that the country understands what people are coming in and out of the country, whether by private or otherwise by public airways, you know what I mean, private flights or normal public flights. So the country understands, keeps a list of all individuals who come in and who exit. And yeah, they probably understood that he was already back in the country from the chartered flight, booking in to come and land, requesting landing. So they knew, not from some pizza box.
Leading to the arrest of him and his brother in a
human
trafficking probe.
Listen, and I'm going to say this on this podcast now because I say it on every other one. I would never, ever kill myself. I truly believe they're going to come and they're going to try and kill me on a long enough time frame because they tried to shut me up and I won't shut up. Dude.
This is smart. This is very, very smart. And again, this could be one of two things. It could be a psyop on his part, or it could be genuine. And both would be very, very intelligent plans to go with. The psyop would be the more intelligible one, because if he is actually guilty of the crimes alleged, then him going up front and becoming this media personality and maybe his bridges were burnt in the country, with his, let's say, mob connections and his political affiliations. Maybe those bridges were burnt and he understood that public notoriety was the only way to keep himself safe, understanding that he's on a public stage, people are less likely to take him out. So maybe that's the route he went, and or he grew to fame and those bridges burnt because of his fame and the way he spoke about the country of Romania, staying in multiple interviews and multiple videos of his own, that there's a level of corruption that allows everybody to participate in the country, and obviously that puts the country in a bad light, and maybe they won't let that run, and they said, F this, who does this guy think he is, tarnishing the name of our country. And as we know, a lot of these countries are trying to, get better positioning on the global stage and get more credibility as, credible countries with little to no, criminal activity. And man over here is just saying, look, I'm doing criminal activity here and it's cool. I can just pay my way out of it, as most people do. So it's crazy to think that, someone who is alleged of those crimes would come up and actually live this life. But again, there's a lot of evidence in terms of self-snitching that has come out on his courses, where he used to talk about what he did and how he did it and la-di-da-di-da, So yeah, so this is very interesting, because if the prosecution is using that, then it's crazy, because those videos are long gone deleted, because I'm pretty sure he understood that his image is very important. This is why Kevin Samuels would have been great. Mr. Chaos, rest in peace. It would have been great to have him here, because he would have been able to really clean up this man's image to the point where, you're not going to be able to find anything on him. But hey, man got caught And that's the game. It is what it is, and as a man should, he should take full accountability of his actions and pay the price. If this is his downfall, he knew the consequences.
They're going to try and put me in jail. They're going to kill me. And I would never kill myself under any circumstances ever. And the reason I say this, and I say this to people, and they go, but what can they put you in jail for? And I'm like, how ignorant are you? In your ignorance to believe
That's smart. This is smart.
they need a reason. You believe it's fair. You believe I can get a lawyer.
And again, the fundamental thing that makes that is compelling is because it is true. There are instances in which it doesn't matter if you're right, like the Central Park Five, the kids in America who were accused of rape, and they were then charged and spent upwards of 20, some of them 10 to 20 years in jail. Like that's entire lifetimes of people lost. Like, bro, that's crazy. And again, these things do happen. So him stating this, and off the back of shows like like that, talk about the Central Park Five, discussing people getting falsely accused, and people spending time in jail when they should not have for crimes they didn't commit, then it makes this, when he says things like this, more credible.
And prove myself innocent. That's not how it works. They decide you're guilty long before, and they find a reason why. And it doesn't matter what you do.
And again, it's like in some situations that is very true, but most often than not, it is not the case, because most people are just low-level criminals. They did the crime, they're doing the crime.
About it, you will pay the fucking price. It's not fair. None of it is. Every single system's corrupt. It actually annoys me when people say that to me. Well, just get a lawyer. Why? They can't put you in jail if you're innocent. Yes, they fucking can. And that's what people don't understand about the world. They can, and they do, and they fucking will. And that's what's scary.
I'm looking into...
And that is smart, man. That is smart on his behalf to really come up front and hit the narrative on the end, saying that I would never kill myself and like really getting ahead of it. So it creates a situation where people are more likely to do their due diligence if man does get killed, and look into things to say, okay, what happened? How did it happen? Why did it happen? And the fact that now the stories of him going to hospital, it might further vindicate his case more that they're trying to get him. So again, this could all be an orchestrated plan, because he did say this is a 3-step plan. He said phase 1 was in motion, phase 2 was making another platform more viable, which was Rumble. Phase 3 could be the potential arrest and fall from grace, and then his vindication in his death. Who knows, man? Who knows? For all we know, the man could have cancer and he's already dying anyway, and this is his last plan or ploy to be immortalized.
Andrew Tate literally predicted numerous times that he was going to get arrested at.
See, again, just talking on what was already shown before. Yep, he did in multiple videos. He did predict his own arrest. Again, in some cases, you might call this a self-fulfilling prophecy, because he spoke it into existence. That's why you have to be careful what you say with thy tongue, because what you say holds power, because the word is... There you go. You can finish that sentence. But yeah, law. Anyway, and then following on, we found out that he was rejected for after 24 hours of him staying in jail. He was rejected. His almost appeal to the judge to get bail and get released was rejected, and that is because the prosecution probably has a ton of evidence, from the self-snitching to the apparent wiretap, which we're going to get to in a second. So this is just the lawyer coming out, I'm guessing after that session where they denied that initial bail, and he was then held for subsequent 30 days. So let's see what he has to say, or what he had to say.
The court issued an arrest warrant for 30 days. We've appealed it. The court will decide after the appeal what the final solution is. Well, we are not at a stage where guilt or innocence is proven.
See, they're not at a stage where guilt or innocence is proven. Again, the interesting, it's interesting how words are used and the way he worded that, because you can tell he's really trying to think and draw from memory what is happening, because he's looking up, he's not looking down. If he was looking down, he'd be trying to be more creative with his words, trying to really maybe pluck out situations and try to be, maybe lie about the situation. But looking up, he's obviously recalling what's been happening, so he doesn't really fumble the bag here. And the situation is that he's saying we're not in a position where guilt or innocence is proven. And the way he structured that sentence, to me, sounds like he's implying that there is guilt and there's nothing yet that has been proven because they're looking to get out of it. And the only way they're going to get out of this, because if it's money laundering, because upon the initial arrest, there was upwards of 9 to 10 million euros found in his home. That could be chalked up to him getting banned and his bank accounts getting shut down and him withdrawing that money. And instead of putting another bank that could potentially get shut down again, he would keep that money in his house as, potential funds to travel and do what he needs to. But then again, in most people, celebrities too, would not have that kind of money in their home. So that then raises concerns for money laundering and, organized crime. And that brings in the situation now where, he could be in a really tough spot if it's money laundering.
For now, we only discuss preventive measures and the opportunity of taking certain measures. Guilt was not discussed.
See, guilt was not discussed because, he might be likely guilty. Who knows? It's speculation at this point. But with the evidence coming out and the stories coming out, that really, the machine is working hard to push the narrative a certain way. And, there's no evidence yet to suggest which way it will go. But if it's true that there's big tech behind it trying to, push this, and governments, the U.S. Embassy trying to push this, then it could be a really tough situation for him. So, and again, people say, why would governments be involved, but again, like the story broke out recently here in the UK, that UK schools say that Andrew Tate has brainwashed teenagers and are developing classes to re-educate. So if the UK itself is taking preventative measures to re-educate teenage boys, then you understand the level of influence this gentleman has, and this has reached levels unlike anything that has been seen before. Like it's jarring, it's almost crazy how much influence this dude has been able to garner in the space of like 2 years. Ridiculous.
In my opinion, in the best possible way, from a defense perspective, from our perspective, there are no grounds for taking the most drastic preventive measures provided by the Criminal Procedure Code. But the judge has the prerogative to pronounce a solution, one that we have appealed, and we will see the solution after the appeal.
So this is going to be all interesting.
Yes, for each of them.
So yeah, warrants were issued for each of them: Andrew, Tristan, Georgiana, and the other lady who's a police officer who works closely with them. She might be dating one of the two, but I don't know which one. Most likely Andrew. So it'll be very interesting to see. And there was also another story that came out after this, that was saying that he's been accused of messaging underage people. And this was a story that broke out in Romania, where dad basically spoke on, his daughter and how she was messaged by Andrew, allegedly. And there were text messages produced, so we're just going to skim past this. You can obviously check this video out yourself on Festify, man. This is in-depth. It's 9 minutes and 24 seconds long, so it's really in-depth. It really breaks it down about all the accusations, what's happening, and apparently multiple people have been coming out with these, but all we need is more evidence in terms of the actual message threads to see. But again, a scrub could have been done by Andrew's team, where they basically went through his social media and said, scrub everything that could be incriminating or could be used to make him look bad. So again, these people are intelligent people, so they could have gone and backdated and really scrubbed out all the messages, delete, leave everything out. So who knows?
Tate's ex-girlfriend has.
And again, following this, we had a message from his girlfriend who was on the video where they were engaging in some roleplay BDSM stuff, and she spoke out and said her piece and said, this is completely false. And who knows, she might have been one of those people who was in pocket at the time when she's getting very, very, very healthy amount of money from my man, to keep backing his corner. So again, it's all really, it's a tough situation. Like you can't, it's a 50-50 block, but it's leaning more towards a prosecution because there's a multitude of charges here on the table. There is the whole trafficking, there's the money laundering, there's possible tax evasion. So there's loads of grounds that they could get this man on. And if the evidence is there and the evidence is strong, because again, there was a situation in which we'll talk about later about wiretapping, but let's just hear what she has to say and proceed from here.
Spoken out once again and cleared his name over this whole situation. This is her thoughts.
If you don't live under a rock, then I'm pretty sure you know that Andrew Tate has been arrested for human trafficking and a rape, which is absolutely absurd, simply for the reasons that it's absolutely false. I have lived with Andrew for years and years, and he would never do anything like this, ever. I've already had to make 2 videos regarding his innocence when it came to him being called a woman beater for a video that got leaked of us 2 having a little bit of a rough role play. I had to make a video clarify, 2 videos in fact, clarifying that he is innocent. And here I am again, coming from somebody who lived with him for years. He is not a human trafficker. He would never rape anybody, and he would certainly never ever human traffic anyone either, including his brother. They would never do such thing. I am just so shocked, and I'm so fed up with all of these lies.
And again, this could be completely valid, because from what we've seen of their character, you know, as they interact with people through, you know, the lens of the internet, they're very cordial, they're very polite when they speak to people, even though when especially when Andrew's speaking, he might be very brazen in the way he says things and very triggering in the way he says things. You know, it's not for everyone's ears to hear. It's just interesting to see that it's progressed to a point where, you know, this individual, his ex, has to come out for the 3rd time again to vindicate him. Like, it's getting out of hand. But again, like, you have this lady here and Leia, who have been the biggest backers, the biggest ladies who have backed him. Same with, you know, Just Pearly Things. She's been also saying he's a good dude, this and that. And Brittany Renner as well, whenever she met him, she said he was a good dude and he was very polite, you know, he was mild-mannered and whatnot. So it's very interesting to see, like, the dichotomy between how he's presented himself and what is being alleged. And it could ultimately be true because, for all we know, man's a psychopath or a sociopath. And this is how he gets off on, you know, convincing the world that he is someone he is not and doing all this shady business in the back. And we know he's had dealings with, you know, shady individuals because that's how he got his casinos to start running, because of, you know, him interacting with mafiosos in the area. So this is very, very interesting stuff, man. Very, very interesting stuff. So it's crazy, man. This year has been crazy. The rise, the steep fall, the resurgence. It's wild.
Talking about it, that he's a woman beater, that he's a human trafficker, he's raped somebody. It is so false. It's so false that it's upsetting. Even though we're no longer together, it upsets me because I know the person I have lived with. I know who he is, and he is neither of those things, and he does not deserve any of this coming his way.
This girl has had to speak out numerous times because no matter how much she clears her name, it gets brought back up with her involved. Clips resurface of them doing stuff in the past, and that has nothing to do with this case. And this is just one of a few women that are speaking out, actually defending Andrew Tate, which is very interesting.
Yep, it is definitely very interesting to see that there are people who are advocating and saying that he's a right old gentleman. And in come the Vice reporter. So this gentleman has done a whole Vice piece in which he discussed, interviewed an alleged victim from the 2014 or 2013 incident in which this is the beginning of the whole webcam studio business with Andrew. And he stated in his own words that this lady got inebriated, she was drunk, and she ended up vomiting on the floor. He told her to clean it up. She said, I'm going to clean it up. The maid's going to clean it up when she comes in the morning. He said, no, don't be stupid, you better clean it up. She was disrespectful. He said, get the fuck out. Kicked her out, threw her stuff out. And then she demanded, you better pay me my money. I'm going to ruin your life. And he said, no, fuck you. So then she went away, and apparently there were text messages exchanged between the girls that were evidence saying that between that girl and another girl, evidencing saying like, oh, we should ruin him, we should ruin his life, da 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 da, and or we should say we had alcohol, we had should we say we had alcohol to drink or da da da, meaning they could have been trying to hide the fact that they were inebriated for the claims to sound more legitimate. So again, you can watch the video of her speaking out and giving her story. And again, for all we know, it could be fabricated. We don't know. It's anonymous. We don't know. And she could have just been spiteful because the money that she got, the money she didn't get, and the fact that she was his most valuable girl at the time, is crazy. She stated that he was beaten, abusing, choking, raping, da 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 da, under the house, and all crazy allegations. But apparently that case went nowhere. It was thrown out. Apparently Andrew stated himself that he had evidence. He had people corroborating his innocence. He had 6 other girls who were saying that he's innocent. He's not this. She's lying. Da da da. So for all we know, that's why that case was probably exited, and there was no grounds for prosecution, and they let that one go. So hey, if it's in the past, it's in the past. So who knows? Who knows? She could be telling the truth, but she could be lying. Again, it's so hard to tell, but the mounting evidence and the self-snitching in terms of him discussing about his course and how he set up his webcam in studios and how he set it up in such a way that allows him to retain control and also allows him to get most of the financial benefit while lying and almost convincing the girls that he's paying their taxes when he's actually not, and he's getting paid through Bitcoin, allowing him to forego that whole tax paying system. And I wonder if those funds are then funneled through different shell companies to allow him to be unscathed by it. So it is very, very, very interesting. So this whole hit piece, we're going to definitely look at it. It's coming out on the 12th of January. We're going to see if it's very impartial. There was a clip that surfaced of this gentleman talking to Andrew and the sartorial shooter in an interview where Andrew seemed visibly upset, saying, you've just been accusing us of for 3 hours. You've just been accusing me of this, that, and the other. Where are all the good questions? Where are the questions about me and what I'm doing to help young men today and help people with depression and And this guy's having none of it. He came in under a different guise, and yeah, it was a psyop. Tristan called it instantly. He was very perspicacious and said, "Look, it's a trap. They send the nice guy to come in here and I'm just this nice guy, but he's actually out here to write a hit piece." And ultimately he was right. And the timing of the hit piece is very, very, very convenient, which is leading a lot of people to think that this is orchestrated. This is a big orchestration on a last push on the big tech side, and different governmental bodies trying to really push for the cancellation of this individual. So it is very interesting.
Until people hear this wiretap that was set up for Andrew Tate himself and hear the actual audio, they're not going to believe it. Prosecutors of Andrew Tate have obtained wiretaps in which...
So here, as Festify broke it down, it says prosecutors have obtained wiretaps in which Andrew Tate recounts how he broke the law and took advantage of women. Andrew Tate says, this is him saying, "You are not stupid, and you can probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I'm really doing." Victim webcam.
Which Andrew Tate recounts he broke the law and took advantage of women. Andrew Tate says on this, "You're not stupid, and you can probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I'm really doing." Victim says, "Webcam?" ? Tate says, "I've been doing this for a long time with a team of girls working on video chat. The company was fake, but this is how I laundered my dirty money. Some of the girls who work for me, I used them to do other things, to move money or illegal things and documents."
etc. And this to me is truthful. I feel like this is honest truth, because I remember in an interview, I don't know if it was from Fresh and Fit, one of the early interviews, he did speak on having almost like James Bonds and his whole war room situation where he was doing a selection meet for his own 007 agents, like literally doing trying to get his own secret agents to go do these things, whether it's move illegal things or move money or do this, move documents here and there, or having girls who are beautiful go steal intelligence from different politicians to extort them and da. Smart individual. This could have all been done. This to me sounds very accurate. This could be truthful. This to me sounds very, very truthful. So I have no doubt that this is accurate, and these words probably came out of his mouth. The ones earlier, I don't know, but this sounds very, very accurate, because I've heard something along these lines of saying that he does have, almost like spies working for him. So this is crazy.
This actual audio tape of the police tracking him and him committing to these offences are not the actual offences he's being charged of in the public. They're saying human trafficking, an R charge, and some criminal enterprise. But money laundering charges could be dragged into this if they want to get
100%,
something.
100%.
More shocking details from the Tate brothers' investigation has been leaked. Now, firstly, it says, per investigation document, that Tates picked up a young woman under the illusion of starting a relationship with her, which resulted in the person being taken to the house with other girls and forced to produce videos. It says the victims of the Tate brothers told prosecutors they arrived at the suspect's villa, where they were greeted by armed guards. Their role was to put pressure on the women, so they never took a break from work they were doing on adult sites. Besides,
and this is the thing, he spoke on this and how he worked, and they only worked for they worked for 18 hours a day, and they only slept for 3-4 hours, and he was 3, 4, 5 hours, he was on it, money, gotta make the money. So to me, this does not sound out of the realm of possibility. From looking again, taking from what he's spoken about, and taking from the experience he's talking about, his whole course, discussing how he set up his whole process, how he set up his WorkCraft studios, how he encouraged people to work harder and do more, and he spoke about the laziness of girls. So it's interesting. So so for besides serving as camels, the girls were also made to do other things such as moving money, legal documents.
serving as cam models, the girls were also made to do other things such as move the money or illegal items and documents. It did not stop there. Romanian investigators have obtained further shocking statements from women who were allegedly recruited by the Tate brothers. Reportedly, they admitted that they were forced to get tattoos with a message owned by Tate. Now, also, it says that a psychologist in Romanian media said that human traffickers are people who have psychopathic traits. They don't feel remorse, they don't feel regret, and they blame victims, discard them, or place the responsibility elsewhere. The Tate brothers' attorney says that allegations are false and the victims allegedly produced the content material to make money from them. So yeah, the Tate brothers are denying these.
This is crazy, man. I think there's a high likelihood that they go down. There's no chance. To me, like the prosecution coming hard at them so fast, so quickly, seizing vehicles already, like getting that extra extension. Like, you know, that first raid was probably just to instill that wiretap. And now knowing the second raid coming in, because obviously they must have had probable cause to do that first raid. And then that second raid coming in, ooh, holy. It is a wrap, man. So they probably have a lot of damaging and incriminating information on them, including their self-snitching on Andrew's part, man. Man talks a lot, and that's a problem. It's your greatest quality and your greatest weakness. You talk a lot.
So guys, Andrew Tate has spoken out after an article was released saying...
And last but not least is the hospital incident that just came out today, if I'm not mistaken, less than 2 hours ago. It's been out, so let's just hear this, man.
One of the brothers are in hospital. He said the Matrix has attacked me, but they misunderstand. You cannot kill an idea, hard to kill. It says new information about what is happening with the Tate brothers in custody. One of them have ended up in hospital. It says more than a week after the Tate brothers were placed in custody, new information about what's happening to the two brothers is revealed. The former fighters investigated for human trafficking and are charged are worried about their health, as one of them has already arrived in hospital. Judging by the response from Andrew Tate, they're both okay right now, but we got some information coming later about why the judge is keeping them inside right now for the 30 days. So more information has come out on this case, so stay tuned to the channel by leaving a like and subscribe with the notification button. So why don't they...
So my man could be okay, like he's okay, sounds like he's good. And another video was also released in terms of whether Sartorius shooter Instagram from him stating that he did go to hospital. He is okay. So when the doctor did the examination, it could have been a case of him just stating that I have these ailments, so he could allow himself to go to hospital. And in that journey to the hospital, a story would have come out of it. Maybe he'd have made sure that someone on the outside would get someone to take pictures. A story would come out of it, allowing it to seem like they're trying to really get him and get after him. So it's very interesting. Like, and the tweet again saying they're trying to get me and I'm hard to kill. Like, it's really playing into the narrative that someone's trying to kill him, actively trying to kill him. So it's very interesting. This could be very, very smart thinking, man. 3, 4, 5D level chess he's playing here, because this could all be a psyop on his part, and he is doing these criminal activities, which is highly likely at this point. The only way he gets out of this is with a lot of greasing of palms, a lot of greasing of people, and keeping shit hush hush. But the level of notoriety he has now, it is crazy. It's gonna be hard to keep things hush hush at this level. Like, you did the crime, you do the time, man. You do the crime, you do the crime. And the love boy method, man, that is some sticky situation right there. Love boy method, because that is all dependent on feelings and how people feel. So if they feel like you took advantage, man, and it is a wrap. There's no sorries. I apologize. It's a wrap. You're finished. But anyway, guys, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, guys. Go definitely check out Festify's channel. Subscribe to his Instagram, or follow his Instagram and subscribe to his channel, and definitely subscribe here, guys. And I'll catch you on the next one. This is crazy. We'll see how everything progresses with the hospital case and what's happening. He's gonna make a great escape from the hospital. Who knows? But it's crazy, because he could just come out in the shadows and drop a video saying, I escaped from hospital because I knew they're gonna kill me. But then, Tristan's probably still back there. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna break him out? Who knows? What's gonna happen, man? They could turn into El Chapo and bro, this is like a movie, man. This shit is like a movie. Holy shit! Are they gonna disappear, get plastic surgery, change their names and faces? Who knows? It's spicy, man. I think there's a 75% chance the prosecution annihilates them, and I think there's a 25% chance they get out of this, and the only way they get out of this is through greasing of palms, because the self-snitching is crazy from those videos, those tutorial videos, on how he set up his cam business and how he defrauded the women, how he lied, how he enticed them to come and work, and keeping them on premises and living in the location they work so they can make extra money. Bro, it is crazy. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this proceeds, because for all intents and purposes, he did lie to their face, and he did lie to them for the intentions of the money that he used, for the intentions that he said he was going to pay the taxes and whatnot. So for them, they're obviously innocent in this, because they thought they had a legitimate job, and they're just getting fucked with. And if the rape and allegations are there on top, then bro, this man's finished. He's finished. You might as well start looking for a new leader in the manosphere and in the red pill space, because this Don is, I don't know, man. If he survives this, it's going to be crazy. He is hard to kill. He's James Bond. If he survives this, he's James Bond. But yeah, man. If he survives this, he's going to be vindicated to all hell. It's going to be crazy. But there's also going to be a lot of healthy skepticism now when dealing with him and looking at him. But yeah, man. It's going to be interesting to see. And his friend Tam Tam has also been deleted off TikTok, and I don't know if it's Instagram, it was just TikTok, because of a video he posted actively defending Andrew. So this is interesting, man. It's not just him going down, it's his associates as well now. So yeah, man, this is the system strikes, as they say, man. Wake up. I'll catch you guys on the next one, guys. And as I always say, spread love, not WarCraft, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.